Hey, welcome to Janktown. Will here, and today we'll be doing a quick take on one of the early spoiled legendary creatures from Wilds of Eldraine, Talion, the Kindly Lord. Now, if you haven't seen her, she is a 4-mana value 3/4 fairy noble with flying, and when she enters the battlefield, we choose a number between 1 to 10. When an opponent casts a spell with mana value, power, or toughness equal to the chosen number, that player loses 2 life, and we draw a card. So we won't be doing a full-on deck tech here, but instead I'll be doing a short breakdown as well as a few card choices to get us started on our journey towards building around Talion. So first off, we need to be clear about her role. So she's an enabler in that she draws us cards even if it is conditional, but that means you want a deck that'll function with her rather than completely building around her ability. So that said, it is a cool ability, and in casual tables, the sweet spots to hit here are probably going to be 2 or 3. A lot of people build their curves around these mana values, and so we just want to make sure that we get as much value as we can out of her. Although do remember that it's not just mana value she cares about, she also looks at the power and toughness. And this actually makes 1 a viable number, because even if players mainly only play like Soul Ring or Wayfarer's Bauble as their 1-drops, there are a lot of utility 1 power or 1 toughness creatures. Actually, the same thing can be said about 2, because aside from 2/2s, there are a bunch of, because of power creep already, like 1/2s or 2/1s, even if they do exactly the same thing that a 1/1 would do. So since you want to choose multiple numbers, I recommend bringing in clones. Some great cards to bring in are going to be Irenicus's Vile Duplication, Spark Double, and the 2 Sakashimas. These get around the legend rule, and therefore they let us have multiple copies of Talion, allowing us to just cast a wider net to hopefully draw more cards. The second thing to keep in mind is Talion cares about casting spells. So while removal is good, bounce is actually pretty viable in this kind of build. If we bounce our opponent's stuff back to their hand, they'll have to cast them again, and hopefully that'll net us a card if Talion's in play, while also being a pretty good tempo play. Something like Consuming Tide is a pseudo board wipe that keeps Talion on the battlefield. Venser bounces stuff back on the stack, whether it's a spell or something that's already on the battlefield. And Capsize is a boomer all-star that can be bought back for 3, then cast over and over again to try to get extra value. Lastly, this card does ping for 2 life. So it doesn't sound like much because players start at 40, but it gives us a direction to build around, which is, a theme I love. Punisher style decks. While this is typically seen in Rakdos or Orzhov, it is a neat semi-color pie break, and therefore we can lean into cards like Painful Quandary, Bloodchief Ascension, Wound Reflection, and a sleeper finisher, Forced Fruition. Ha! Didn't see that coming, did ya? But these cards punish our opponents for doing stuff. And again, we don't need to build it like this. Using our commander just for the card draw mode is actually already pretty good. And if we want to build around, let's say, a draw-based theme or something along those lines, those are going to be plenty powerful themselves. And that's it for this episode. I hope you guys found it useful. If you like this format where we don't go into like the full primer mode, but just, a quick bite-sized analysis, you're in, you're out, let me know in the comments. But either way, don't forget to tap that like button and hit subscribe because it really helps the channel out. I'm still working on the gameplay videos, showcasing some of our deck tech stuff that we talk about here on this channel. But it just seems like we're in eternal spoiler season, so I gotta get to it. But until next time, stay inspired, friends, and I'll see you soon.